I mean, I liked it because it's very similar to a thing that I actually pitched on the show not too long ago, which is an episode about someone who only knows the holodeck and has forgotten about the outside world, which is essentially what they did.
Yep. We were talking about that. Were we talking about that in the context of an Enterprise episode?
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it was after Oasis with the Rene Auberjonois episode. We were wondering if there was ever a case of someone totally growing up within a holodeck, I guess. Yeah.
Or if not growing up, at least spending so long in the holodeck that you don't realize that it's fake, which is not the case here because Su'Kal seems to know that there are programs, but there is definitely a blurring of reality and
he doesn't know he knows the programs exist. He doesn't know that there's an outside world to the program. So he could theoretically think that his world is real, but these programs are just holograms that exist in his world.
I think that's the case. Yeah, because he's afraid of that monster in a very real way and stuff like that. I thought this episode looked amazing. I thought that the special effects team deserves a round of applause for this one because they put out an amazingly detailed, creepy set with a really awesome looking monster, and it wasn't just all the money going towards different colored lasers shooting at a million different ships.
I think the monster looks great. The monster's probably the most impressive thing that I've seen.
That was like movie level special effects going on in this episode. It was great.
Yeah. I think the one so the portrayal of this world within Su'Kal, who we haven't gotten to, but within Su'Kal's world, is his world chaotic like that because the program is collapsing? Why does it look that way?
There seems to be from what I was kind of gleaning. I don't know if it's somehow connected to his own subconscious
psyche,
because that monster and the description of the monster and the way the monster is controlled seems to imply that there is a connection to his subconscious that's making it look like that.
So he projects this universe. I would assume.
I think so.
That seems to be the case. The only issue I have, and I do think it looks great. I think the alien looks great. So my criticism of it is mostly whether or not it's conceptually the right thing to do. It looks very much like a Lemony Snicket's adventure world. It's like this fantasy sort of falling apart world where you walk, there's raging ocean beneath you as you walk down a narrow stone pathway to get to the castle that's at the end of the road.
Oh, that specifically, I was like, oh, they've entered the video game level now.
Yes. I think most of it looks like a video game.
Yeah.
And I was just, I find it, if I assume what they're doing is what we're saying is that it's supposed to be a reflection of Su'Kal's shattered psyche at this point, where everything's very dark and scary to him. I was just wondering if I would kind of have preferred it to be more of a strange, unsettling world that it looks more realistic. Like it looks like a world where you could actually exist in, but there's something wrong with the programs. Like the programs are sort of intimidating or scary or something. It's just the change in style to Discovery. Well, Discovery wants that more fantastical looking, like magical adventure look to it. And
I mean, they literally summarize this world as essentially being a fairy tale,
right?
Once they get to that Kelpian book there,
and I don't have a problem with it, and I don't even really have a problem with it reflecting what Su'Kal is thinking. It's just I think that it looks great. It's just I think that what it does is it's fairly representative of the storytelling of Discovery in general, which is that it looks great, but I don't know why they've made this decision to do this, to look this way. It almost feels like it's a misallocation of resources in terms of like what the production is doing. But I did think it looked great, and if they had tied it more into Su'Kal makes it this way because it is that way, or it's the way that he feels, I think I would have been more up on it. But as it stands, I don't really have a problem with it. I do think it looks great, but it's a distraction, I think, from what the actual interesting aspect of Su'Kal and his storyline is.
Yeah, they definitely. This episode seemed very Chris Nolan influenced to a point because it was like a little bit of Inception going on, and they show up and they see the remnants of Bane's prison from Dark Knight Rises. But like all the complaints about the lack of production value in the episode on Book's home planet, clearly they just needed the time and money to go to this episode.
Yeah, yeah. There's no living room sets in this one, fortunately.